Hey, welcome to Christian Fitness. Thank you for joining us today. We have a full show, and today is going to be full of information and exercises and a lot of fun.
Yeah, so coming up today, we have an amazing devotional about loving your neighbor, loving your enemies.
Yes.
As well as a question.
Are you a snacker?
What is a snacker?
Are you a snacker? What's a snacker? We're going to talk about what a snacker is.
And then we have a 1-minute workout for you. We are going to be doing burpees, which if you have no idea what that is, just stay tuned, but it's only a 1-minute workout. Who doesn't have time for 1 minute? That is our 1-minute workout for today, so stay tuned for that. But let's start by getting into the Word. We'd love to start the show by just focusing on the Word of God, and we just have one simple verse for today, and that is our devotion for the day. It is Matthew 5:44, and we're in the New King James Version.
But I say to you, love your enemies, bless those who curse you, do good to those who hate you, and pray for those who spitefully use you and persecute you. You know, if you think about it, this is about a perspective. Really, if you think about what it is that you're going through with someone, what's your perspective about what you're going through, and what's your perspective of who that person is, because Jesus is telling us exactly how to react in that instance.
I think one of the keys that I pull out of this is we've got to live to a different standard, actually a higher standard. We talk about taking the high road, the high moral road. We don't want to act like someone that hates us, so we can't hate them. So that's why Jesus is saying you've got to love your enemies. Yeah. So we always want to know, how do you apply the word? You know, Robert, how do I apply this word? It's great, you know, that the Bible was written in this history and Jesus is living in us, but how do I apply the word in my life? How would you apply this verse, Heidi?
Well, I think part of it is being the attitude. Be the attitude of who Jesus says you are. And I think that's really important, because it's when someone's going through something difficult, you have to look at them as how God sees them, not how if you are reacting to how they're reacting, then you are reacting in your emotions, and your emotions can kind of lead you in the wrong direction. Someone that, if you smile at somebody, if you are kind to them, they're going to respond that way. And Jesus expects us to be that way. We're to be the light, be the love of Christ. So I think that's the key, is you be the difference, but pray. Pray. That is the most important thing. Pray for somebody. That's what changes people.
Yeah.
It changes,
No, how do you apply the word? Really simple.
Pray.
Pray for someone that, as it says here, someone that might hate you, someone that might spitefully use you, or someone that might persecute you. Pray for them today. And I think the key when you do pray like that,
it changes your heart towards them. Yes, God will help them, but it changes your heart, so that's your perspective. As you pray, you will change as well, and you'll treat them differently.
Yeah, because you can't pray for them to change. That's up to, the Lord to work on their heart.
Right.
You can't pray anything to have them change, but what praying for them changes your heart. Think about, I like to think about Saul, who became Paul. Mm-hmm. I mean, you talk about a persecutor, someone that hated people. He hated the Christians, was persecuting them, capturing them, imprisoning them, taking them to be killed. And can you imagine praying for him? That would be a tough one. That'd be a tough one to pray for Saul, knowing that he's coming to town. To pray for Saul, but look what happened. He became Paul. And that's the way we've got to see people. We've got to look at them and think, now how does God see them? What if they were changed into a new person? What if that's a Saul that could become a Paul? That should be our prayer. I like to think of it as, I would hope that someone would pray for me in a certain way, so I'm going to pray for them that way.
Exactly.
Well, how would you want someone to pray for you? That's how you need to pray for others.
Well, prayer always creates a change, but there's a full spectrum in that. It's not just praying for that person, it's letting God pray through you. And when you pray from your heart and God is praying through you, it changes everything. It changes the atmosphere, it changes that person, it changes you, it changes your attitude, it changes everything. I want to read that out of the Passion Translation too, because I love this version of it. However, I say to you, love your enemy. Bless the one who curses you, do something wonderful for the one who hates you, and respond to the very ones who persecute you by praying for them. That is, I love the Passion Translation because it really is a perfect translation of what that scripture means when we read the New King James. So it literally is, you are blessing someone when you pray for them. And you have the blessing of God already, because God's already blessing you with everything you need. So by doing that, praying for somebody, that changes everything.
I like that it says, do something wonderful for them today.
Yeah.
That's what changes. Lori mentioned a smile earlier.
Yeah.
Just smiling at someone can change their day. You never know what they're going through. So just love people. I mean, that's basically just love people, which brings me to, we have this fun little life recipe that we like to live by. And, kind of goes with our whole healthy living and being in the kitchen quite often. But our life recipe is that these are the ingredients for it. 3 simple ingredients. You should love every minute.
Pray every hour.
And then just repeat that every day. So it's really only 2 ingredients. You love every minute and you pray every hour, and then you should repeat that every day. But that's really our life recipe, because that's what Jesus said to do. He said, look, you pray often, and then love your neighbor, love your enemy, and love the Lord your God with all your heart.
That is, we've read about being a doer of the word, but that is being the word of God in people's lives and being the word of God in your life. We're to be who Christ is in us so that we are different. And if we are different and we show love and kindness and blessings towards people that are going through, everyone is going through something. And it is up to us to be the one to change that, to change the atmosphere, change how somebody is going through something, because when you bless someone, that helps them. That helps them see a different perspective of what it is that's happening.
So how do you apply the word? Pray for somebody today. Really pretty simple. Just pray, pray, pray. We have a healthy living tip for you today that could change your life, or could change your daily habits. That's really what we're trying to do, is encourage you to adopt healthier living habits that will change. And habits take a long time to form, all right? You didn't form bad habits overnight, so you can't expect to form a new habit overnight. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes effort. But today,
we had a question. Are you a snacker? What's a snacker? Well, I mean, it's really pretty obvious.
All of us are snackers.
Everyone is a snacker. So we want to help give you some information about how you can snack healthy. Because I think the key with a lot of people is they snack because they're really, really hungry, and they just throw whatever is in their mouth or whatever's near them in their mouth, and then they go, oh no, what did I do?
Well, what happens is your body tells you basically, I'm out of fuel.
Yes.
Think of yourself as a car. I'm out of fuel. I need you to fill me up. Fill up my gas tank. So a lot of people reach for the wrong thing. So we're encouraging you, hey, reach for something healthy, which we say go nuts.
Yes.
Nuts are amazing.
Go nuts. Because yes, it's easy to want to grab a bag of chips or do something, and you don't want to do that. You don't want to grab whatever's in front of you. You want to do something healthy.
So go nuts, fellow snackers. That is our theme for today. Go nuts, fellow snackers. And why do we say that? Because nuts are amazing.
Yes, they are.
Very nutrient dense. Here you go. Here's a list of some of the amazing things about nuts.
Nuts, they're a great source of manganese, selenium, vitamin E, magnesium, phosphorus, copper, and they're high in fiber. And I think that's the key, is they're so high in fiber. And on top of that, with it being high in fiber, is that this will help anyone that's going through some kind of challenge in your life. And if you deal with diabetes, a lot of people, they have a drop in their insulin level or their energy. This will help. Instead of going to sugar, eat something that there's a benefit from. We love this. I mean, I take nuts every day for us at work, and we will put them in a bag. You can keep them in a container. You can eat them right out of this. But this is enough for both Rob and I. This is not just one bag for him, unless he's having a really heavy workout day. And then he may eat this throughout the day. But this is a way to stave off cravings and get good, healthy nutrition.
Yeah, the key to nuts are they have a healthy fat content, so they're extremely filling. So when you're craving something, we talked about the empty fuel tank. When you want to fill that empty fuel tank, fill it with something healthy. And the high fat nutrient content of nuts will make you full. Yes. So they're much healthier than reaching for a cookie or reaching for a donut or reaching for potato chips. Nuts are healthier, so we tell you as a fellow snacker, because trust me, I love cookies and I try to stay away from them, and I love ice cream. So to be a healthier snacker, just go ahead and go nuts. because that is your healthy living fuel.
You know, we do a lot of research on foods and eating foods and what works and what doesn't work and what's healthy and isn't. And the manufacturers out there that do cookies and chips and all those things, they do it because it affects the brain and it's soothing to them. So there's a high fat content in something, so that creates a soothing effect in the person. The sugar gives them energy, but it also beats the craving.
Right.
But it's sugar, fat, and salt. So those are the three keys out of something like a bag of potato chips or a whole bunch of cookies or something like that. That helps, the manufacturers know that that's going to help someone want more of that. The key is to want more of it, to eat more of it, and that's where your weight increase comes from and the unhealthy benefits. So when you take something like a nut and it gives you that fat content, your mind and your body responds to that, oh, this is still good, it is still comforting, it is still soothing, but the benefits are, it is great for a sugar level that could be dropping or an energy level that you want to sustain, or just feeling full. And I think that's the key is, you know, keep some nuts near you. Don't eat this whole thing in one day because then you'll gain weight, but eat a moderate amount and use that as a good, healthy key. So go nuts.
You go nuts, fellow snacker. You don't need much. You just need a handful.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it. And convenience. Lori mentioned keep them close, keep them handy. We do. We keep these at our office. And if I get a craving in the middle of the day, I'll just grab a handful of nuts. I do it every night after dinner. That's kind of my dessert. I'll have nuts as my dessert instead of having ice cream or something, you know, something a sweet or a sugar. I'll actually have nuts, and that's my satisfaction. That fulfills me as my dessert. But I encourage you, keep them. And we've got this little bowl out. I remember way back in the day, my grandparents always had a bowl of nuts around.
That's true. I think everybody did.
But if you put a bowl of nuts by, let's say, a chair where you might, you know, look at your phone in the morning and go through emails or whatever, or by wherever you watch TV, keep nuts by there. Don't keep a bag of potato chips. Don't keep don't go through the drive-through and get, you know, fast food French fries and have them right there while you're driving next to you. Yeah, take some nuts with you.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Well, you can't leave a bowl in the car, but you can bring this in the car.
Exactly.
And then the other part too is we will buy a huge bag of these, and we buy unsalted because really you don't want to eat an overabundance of salt. You know, sodium is not good for you, especially if you deal with any kind of high blood pressure. But this is one of the best ways to have a healthy snack. We're going to have lots of healthy snacks coming up. So I think we're just going to start bringing you one at a time or a few at a time, just so that you can change your mindset on, I am really hungry, and the second you hit that really hungry, what do I have that I pre-stocked my house with? Instead of buying all the stuff, buy this stuff, buy nuts, buy fruit, buy berries, buy things that are healthy, buy things that God made.
Yes.
God made these nuts, they are good for you. That's why they're good for you, because He created them. So it's, instead of eating man-made, eat God-created or God-made. It's much healthier for you.
Absolutely. Eat something every day that God made, or every meal, or for your entire meal. Habits,
or the entire day.
Yeah, we talked about habits earlier. Habits take a long time to form. Anywhere from 30 to, research is all over the place, but anywhere from 30 to 90 days to form a new habit. So try this for 30, 60, 90 days. Instead of having ice cream at night, have nuts. Instead of having, if you have guests over, instead of having cookies and cupcakes and, you know, the cakes and things that we normally do full of sugar, have nuts. They're delicious, and you can find out, you know, hey, you go around the table, which nut is your favorite? We've got, what, 4 or 5 different kinds in here.
Oh,
do you like walnuts?
Do you like
pistachios? I love cashews, personally.
Yes, there's cashews, pistachios, almonds.
Almonds, another favorite. A little harder, so
but they're still all very healthy. Walnuts are really, really great for you. Pecans are in here as well. So all really healthy. But the whole key is change your mindset on when you're really hungry, what do you eat? And I will tell you that nuts increase your water intake, increase fluids. That helps a lot. A lot of times we're just thirsty. We're really not hungry.
That's true.
So if you drink water, it's like, no, I'm really hungry. I've not eaten anything in 4 or 5 or 6 hours, and you're really limiting. This is a great way to help you with weight loss too. It keeps you from getting so hungry that the first thing you do is you go to a cabinet or go somewhere and then just load up food. I mean, I read a whole article on somebody that was talking about on the way home, they stop just for some comfort, and they would stop and get something from a fast food restaurant, and then they'd eat it before they ever even got home. And then the next thing is like, oh my gosh, this becomes a new habit. And that's a thing that you can actually break. Don't stop at a fast food place. Have this already on hand. It's like, oh, I know I'm gonna get hungry today. Pack some really good, healthy, good, vital type foods that God has given you so that you can stave off those things. I've got a ton of tips.
Too easy to go to the drive-thru and grab the wrong thing, and you know what's convenient. We went somewhere the other night and I couldn't even find anything healthy on the menu.
We didn't even order
that
anything.
makes it tough. I want to give you a quick little analogy, and hopefully this will make sense. But you think of a car. I keep talking about a car and the fuel tank is empty. What would you put in your car to function properly? And you think about,
that's good.
A car is pretty basic, the engine, a combustion engine or an electric engine, whatever you want to look, whatever you're driving, a hybrid, whatever it is. But that engine's not that complex. How complex is our body?
Very.
You have to be careful what you put in a car as far as your gasoline. How much more complex is our body? Shouldn't you be careful what you put in your body? Why would you put sugar? You wouldn't put sugar in your gas tank of a car. Why would you put sugar into your body? So anyway, hopefully that makes a little sense. Take care of the temple of the Holy Spirit.
Yes.
Take care of your vehicle, especially when you're out of fuel and you're desperate and you do the wrong, make the wrong choice. Take the right choice with you, keep it in your car, and then you can make right choices much easier.
Go nuts.
Go nuts, fellow snackers.
Go nuts.
I do love to snack. So, you know, a lot of these things we're bringing to you, are things that we have tested, we've tried them, and we use them in our own lives. We're not just reading a article and saying, oh, you know, doctors say this or experts say this. What we're sharing with you is Robert and Lori have tried this. Robert loves ice cream, so he has had to find a substitute for that. So these are things that we do in our own lives that we're trying to bring to you and say, hey, try this. This may help you. It helped me with my ice cream craving. It helped me with my cookie craving. And so hopefully it will help you as well.
You know, it's interesting you said that because him wanting to have ice cream was just something that's been a lifelong, you know, family. You have dinner and then you have dessert. So it becomes a habit. And it's changing the mindset of the habit, creating something that's a healthier habit, something that actually benefits your body. Because the more you eliminate sugars and the wrong things, the better your body's going to feel. You're not going to have as much inflammation. You're not going to have aches and pains. Your hands won't hurt. Your body won't hurt. And that's why we do this. We do this so we're trying to give you benefits that you will actually notice. So try it. If you can't do it, like cold turkey, I'm not going to ever do that again, then just start eliminating it as you go along. And then take notice that you start feeling differently, because that's what Christian fitness is all about. It's bringing you healthy ideas, healthy living ideas. We love being a Christian. We love how we live our life. And we want to share that with you because it is creating tips for longevity. And we want to age well. And all of this, the exercise, the eating right, all the information, it's to help longevity. It's help living
healthy
better.
living.
Yeah, it's help living healthy, living healthier, and loving how you live as a Christian.
All right, so we have our special segment for you, our exercise segment. This is going to be our 1 minute exercise. That's simple, 1 minute. We're gonna do burpees today. So here you goes your 1 minute. You're gonna squat. What is a burpee? You squat, you go into what's called a plank, you come back into a squat, and you stand up. That's one burpee. Then you can do it as fast as you can for 1 minute. So you would squat, go into a plank, and this is the beginner. You come out one leg at a time, and then stand back up. So as a beginner, you just squat down, step out with one leg, step out with the next leg, bring them back up. That would be the beginner. Now, for intermediates, we want to get a little bit more, get a little more cardio, a little more strength building. We're going to go down, kick both feet out, and you would do a push-up in between.
He's
Bring
not
both legs
expecting
up
you
and
to
stand
do
up.
this.
No, that's intermediate. So intermediates, you've got a minute, keep doing that. For advanced, all kinds of fun things you can do it as advanced. You kick your legs out, you can do a push-up, then bring a knee up, a push-up, a knee up, come up. And when you come up, you either reach for the sky, you can do a jumping jack, you can do a jump knees to the chest. So all kinds of things when you come up, instead of just standing up, do something fun and advanced. So do as many as you can.
And that is your 1 minute workout.
Whew, so see, I'm just a couple advanced, I'm already out of breath.
Yeah. But see, if you think about it, that is a 1 minute workout. And in that 1 minute, if you did that, I know you're thinking, how do I get into shape doing 1 minute? Do that 10 times a day.
Right.
We're not saying do this especially if you're starting out. I have a shoulder injury. I am not going to do this way because I know I need this to heal. But if you start this and you want to lead up to being able to do it like Robert does in the advanced, then do one. Do one, let it be the 1 minute. Then later on the day, do another one. Or take 10 minutes and say, I'm going to work out for 10 minutes and I'm going to do each one of these in 1 minute, because 1 minute workouts are amazing.
And we've got a ton of 1 minute exercise workouts that we're doing. And the reason I chose this one for today is it's a full body workout.
Right.
As you saw, the first thing I did was squatted, right? So I'm using my legs, I'm balancing, using my quads, I'm using my calves. Then you lean forward. Now you're using your shoulders, you're using your arms. As you kick out, you're in a plank position, which is one of the best core exercises.
Can you hold that for 1
for
second?
the stomach? Sure.
So this, what he just did, is for beginners. It's literally squatting down and taking one leg behind you, one at a time. That is your beginner. Now, if you stay in this position, this is great. That's not really what a burpee is. And by the way, we're going to talk about what is a burpee.
What is a burpee?
What is a burpee? And on top of doing that, if you take this, you're fine.
Oh, can I come back up? You told me to stay there. I thought there was a test.
No.
I thought you were seeing how long I could hold a plank.
He can hold a plank for a long, long time. So I think the key is, first off, let's talk about what's a burpee.
Burpee in 1939 designed this as a fitness test. He thought, you know what? Because it's full body,
Right.
it tests your core, it tests your upper body, it tests your squatting technique. So he just developed, he said, hey, his last name was Burpee. He developed this and said this would be a great fitness
great.
test. He didn't design it to do what we do now and do them as many as you can in a minute and then take a rest. And he just designed it as a great fitness test because it does use every body part. So that's where the name came from, Mr. Burpee.
And then for those of you that aren't just doing this just to get stronger, but you're actually trying to maintain weight or lose weight, burpees actually will help burn calories. So you can, when you start out, you're at 1.25, you can do...
It depends. Calorie burning depends on your weight. It depends on all kinds of different things. But the one single burpee can burn anywhere from 0.25 to 0.75 calories. So anywhere from a quarter to almost a full calorie for one burpee. So that's why we encourage you. It's a 1 minute exercise. So in 1 minute, and imagine if I just did 2 of them, it could be a full calorie. And I encourage you, we just did 1 minute. If you want to make it a full workout, you can do it for a minute as hard as you can, which will really test your endurance and your cardiovascular.
Right.
But then rest for a minute or two, do another minute, rest for a minute or two. Do a cycle. You could do 5 or 6 sets of however many you can do in a minute. If you can do 4, great. If you can do 10, if you can do 15, you're an elite athlete. But anyway, so take a break and then do 4 or 5 sets. You'll end up doing 60, 70, 80, 100 burpees.
Can you do one slowly so I can talk about all of the muscle groups that this helps?
Super slow. I'm a sloth. This is the sloth burpee.
Not that
super slow.
But here's the thing. We're talking about building muscle strength and endurance,
I'll just
both in the lower and the upper body. So they'll work muscles in the legs. So if you can just go ahead and get into a burpee position, you don't have to do the sloth mode, but okay. So now that is a burpee, which is hilarious.
Well,
and then he would get back up.
This is a plank.
But here's the
part of
key
it.
for the plank and part of the burpee. This works the legs, the back pocket, your abdomen, your arms, your chest, and your shoulders. But more importantly, most importantly, this is for your core. So this is your core. From here to here is your core. So Rob literally right now is working on his core, but now go ahead and do a full burpee so that they can see the full burpee. And you don't have to do it in slow motion.
Just a beginner.
Yeah, just do a beginner burpee. Let's show them a real beginner burpee because a lot of people
Okay, so
might
I would
not
say,
be
okay,
ready
I'm going
for
to start my watch. Here's 1 minute. I'm going to see, how many beginner burpees I could do in 1 minute. So that one took what, maybe 3 seconds?
Right.
So you figure in a minute, I may be able to do 20 beginner burpees. Now, what I love to do at home is I'll do a little bit more advanced. So in the middle of my workout, I'll say, okay, I need a minute.
Crazy.
So I'll do an advance.
Right.
I'll jump all the way down. Don't try that if you're a beginner. But instead of actually squatting, I'll drop into the push-up position all at once. Come up, do a couple knees, come up and do something where you reach.
You're not going to be able to talk after this.
Sure, I can. That's only 2. I try to do, 10 to 20 at those. That's only 2. No problem.
So the key in doing a burpee, if you're a beginner or you're intermediate, is to do 1 and then take a rest. Take a minute rest.
Right.
Or do 2, take a minute rest, but take a minute rest in between. The whole key in this type of exercise is you literally are working every single body part, and you are getting cardio. So take a minute, do 4 or 5 of these a day, start out somewhere. And here is probably one of the most helpful things. If you're just starting that and you're trying to figure out what actually is a burpee and why does that work and will it help me, I promise you it will make a difference. Start a diary. Start a workout diary of your own. Start at a certain date and say, my goal is to do 1 a day or to do 2 a day. Whatever your goal is, stay with that goal. When you start and you write down what you want to do and you keep a diary, you'll more likely be you'll stick with it than you would to just go, oh, I think I'm going to try this. No, you have to set some goals. If you set a goal, you can attain that goal. If you just say, willy-nilly, I'm just going to do whatever, it's harder to attain something that you haven't put your mind to or your heart to changing. This is a full body workout. If you did to a point where you could do 5 minutes of these every single day within 30 days, your whole body's going to change.
Absolutely.
So,
you
and that's
will
the
see
key.
you will see a change in your body. If, like Lori said, if you can stay consistent with it,
Yes.
even if you start at 1 or 2 reps, that's fine. But do it, let's say 8 or 10 times during the day.
Right.
Do it. Set a reminder every hour to get up wherever you are. Just do 1 minute of quick burpees. And then the next week you can add another one to it and add another one and add another one. Next thing you know, you'll be doing 10, 15, 20 in that 1 minute
And then
session.
eventually you'll be teaching your friends how you've gotten healthier, your stamina is increased, your strength is increased, your posture is in strength. When you do something like this, your core is strengthened. And when you strengthen your core, your whole body is different because you stand more upright, you walk more upright, you're more steady on your feet. This is to increase the longevity in the body and sustain strength. So that's why we're trying to do this.
Yeah, and what I try to think of is, okay, if I only had 1 minute to exercise, what one exercise would I do? I wouldn't do a curl.
Right.
That was the only exercise option I had. They have that fun thing, if you're stranded on a desert island, what one thing would you have with you? If you only had one exercise you could do, what would it be? This is one of my favorites, just because it is a full body exercise. It's fairly simple to do, but it can also be so advanced that,
Right.
Elite athletes use these. So it's everywhere in between. It's very versatile. So as a beginner, you can just go really slowly. If you really want to push yourself and test your cardio, see how many you can do in a minute in advance, take a minute break and do a cycle of 5 or 6 or 7 sets. But that's why I love it. This one exercise, just full body. It works your balance, it works your core, it works your legs, it works your arms, works your upper body. So anyway, I love the burpee.
Me too. Yes, I love the
Be
burpee
my new
too.
bumper sticker. I love the burpee.
Start out. So today we've talked about nutrition, health, how to love people, love your enemies, pray for people. Today, do something for somebody. If not anything, open a door for somebody, smile at somebody today. Let the love of Christ that's in you come out and be a blessing to somebody. So pray, eat nuts, go nuts for nuts, and then work on your workout. And that is a whole way of living.
Make sure you contact us. Tons of ways to get in touch with us. You can go to our website, which is christianfitnesstv.com. You can send us an email. You can write to us. We actually do get letters, written letters still, so you can write to us. You can phone our CTN headquarters, but definitely stay in touch with us. God bless you.
Have a great day.